Hey, Michael, motorcycle.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll edit that out.
Okay.
It's gold, though.
It is gold.
Okay. So, I have an idea for this movie. Motorcycle Michael. So, I'll tell you what I had in my mind when I was thinking about this. Remember that Tales from the Crypt episode we watched with Brad Pitt, where he rides a motorcycle? Or maybe he drives a car. In any event, we had the volume low and we're just talking over it. But I remember it being like a really like cinematic episode, very well filmed. And I wanted to kind of make a movie with the visual vibe of that episode.
Okay.
Okay. So, in a small town.
This is a podcast. It's so funny how we're gonna. I guess we just say visual stuff. Listen, I just got home from work.
When you got to work, were you like, "This is my job"?
Yes.
You just announce the context that you're in.
Whatever goes in, I say as it comes out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Motorcycle Michael. In a small town, for as long as anyone can remember, there's been a motorcycle riding vigilante. Or not just a vigilante, but kind of like a doer of good. Like he goes around helping people, named Michael.
Okay, so like Robin Hood, but with the legendary status of the Headless Horseman.
Yes. But Robin Hood, like, is a little bit too much of an outlaw. It's more like, who's someone that just went around helping people, like, and was kind of uncontroversial, like
St. Francis.
Did he do that? I thought he was an animal guy.
Oh, St. Patrick.
No, St. Patrick was just an enemy of snakes.
St. John lived in the forest. Listen.
Okay, so he's his own type of saint.
Yeah.
And one day he's helping these kids out. So there's this group of kids, they hang around in the middle of town, and they're trying to get one of them have a kitten, and it got caught in a tree. So the classic helpful thing to do. He climbs up, he gets it, saves it.
And no, like, he climbs up, but he's in like motorcycle leather gear.
Yeah,
and he's still climbing. Oh, how about he has a leather helmet like the Nazis used to wear?
No, why would he be? Why would we want helmet? Why would we want to evoke the Nazis?
Well, I don't know if they were the only ones. But
what if he wears like a little?
No, he wears a leather football helmet from like the early 1900s for some reason. Because that's how badass he is. He's like, yeah, I got a helmet, but it's leather.
Okay,
it does nothing.
It's too okay. I have to cut.
You want me to say what?
I know. I'll just cut out the whole portion of the conversation.
I swear to God, if I hear some weird sound effect noise over my voice.
Right. I'm just gonna dub you with a completely different co-host. So, okay, he's wearing whatever kind of hat you want him to wear, and he climbs up. He gets the cat. Everyone's thanking him. All of a sudden, he looks terrified. They don't know at what, and he gets on his bike and rides off.
And this is like a Harley, or like no, it's like an old, cool bike.
Yeah, I don't know anything about motorcycles, but yeah, it's a Phantom. Is that a cool type of bike?
I don't know anything about motorcycles, but it sounds like there should be.
Yeah, it's a Phantom, and we'll Google that afterwards, and maybe that's cool. But anyway, okay, so he helped out these kids. He got scared. He rode off. This is unheard of. He's like the most reliable guy in town.
Yeah, he always sticks around waiting for the applause till end.
No. He's not a showboat. He's humble, but he always sticks around because he's like a friendly guy. Okay, this is like the most beloved man in town.
Yeah, he asks how everyone's doing. How's your mother?
Well, I think maybe he's a little bit more mysterious than that. He's just a force of good that drives through town,
So shouldn't he just come and go like the wind?
Yeah, but this was different. The
look on his face, everyone noticed.
Yeah,
and you know what?
And the thing is, he didn't come back the next day. He went missing after that.
And
And
there's cats in the trees, and like, everyone's like, "What are we gonna do?"
absolutely. So there's cats in the trees. Little old ladies are going without anyone to help them across the street. All sorts of
Cars
shit.
are just like going around them as if they're turtles.
Yeah, it's a complete. It's a the town has over like the past couple decades has really grown to depend on him.
Yeah, and
So
they
they're
don't realize it until this moment.
yeah, they were always thankful for him, but it's really obvious to the viewer how much in dire straits they are without him. And not only that, but now a new group of bikers has begun ominously riding around town, not interacting with anyone, but seemingly on patrol.
Yeah,
And that's got
and
everyone
they're going
freaked out.
around doing the opposite. They're pushing
No,
old ladies down. They're
no,
putting cats in trees.
well, no, they're not interacting with anyone. They're kind of like
There's a really great scene where they go up to a little girl with a cat and they take it and they throw it into a tree, and it's a reverse shot.
okay,
Like we'll film a
I
cat
like
coming out
that.
of a tree, but then we'll reverse it so it looks like it just like appears up back up in the tree, like whoop.
They're trying to draw Michael out. That's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, so
called.
are they walking through the center of town like that scene in The Godfather where he's like, "Send him out. We know he's in here,"
Sure.
and everyone's like shuddering behind their shutters.
Yeah. They're a little bit more like solemn than that, but they're causing trouble and they're obviously like trying to get Michael's attention, and Michael is not showing up.
Do they have a bat symbol for him?
Oh, maybe the kids all start drawing like maybe they just writing on the walls everywhere like where are you, Michael, we need you, like something like that. I don't know.
Sure. That's all right. There's
The
effigies in the trees.
yeah, I that's a good title too. It's better than Michael Motorcycle, one might argue. So this group of kids, this initial group of kids that got their cat lost. Well, no, wait, no. This initial group of kids that Michael helped out in the beginning, they go searching for him because the town needs him,
Yeah.
and they find him hiding in a shed
They
in the middle of
follow
the woods.
motorcycle tracks.
Yeah, exactly. And they start spying on him, and they
Ooh.
see that they see him get out of bed in this little shed and he's hiding and he doesn't have his shirt or leather vest on, and they see he's got these tiny little wings on his back. He
Like
then
tattoos?
no, like little fleshy gross wings on his
Oh,
shoulder
God.
blades. Yeah. And then he catches them and like confronts them, but he's a really nice guy, so it's pretty gentle. And they ask what's up, and he explains. So, okay. Obviously, he's an angel, right?
Clearly. Wait, this is the movie Michael starring
No,
John
so it's a
Travolta.
different. God, see, this is the issue.
You see this issue? I cannot stop thinking of this movie.
The issue is Michael and Motorcycle. Michael Motorcycle is such a great title, but there is already a famous biblical angel called Michael.
Michael Motorcycle.
Michael Motorcycle. And this is not him. This is clearly a different angel, and I'll explain why. So
Okay, how about I guess Michael Motorcycle is the ol that rhymes. You can't call him Mike. Mike the angel Mike.
No, and there's already the Archangel Michael, who I'm sure goes by the Archangel Mike sometimes to his friends.
No, we make him go back to the beginning. We make him a female called Rachel Motorcycle. No, that doesn't rhyme. Never mind.
Okay, what if we just call him Motorcycle Andy?
Okay. Yeah, I hate alliteration.
Yeah, his name is Andy. Motorcycle Andy. So he explains basically his backstory because they saw the wings, and he needs to let these kids know what's going on. So basically, okay, when the angels
There
rebel,
was 13 disciples, and he was Saint Andrew.
this was before that.
Oh.
This is the war in heaven.
Oh yes, he was
So,
shunned.
so there was Satan and his angels, and they rebelled against God. But there was another contingent of angels that also rebelled against God at the same time in unison. And while Satan and his angels were cast down to heaven, Andy, the contingent of angels that Andy was a part of, got cast down to earth. And because they were cast down to earth where God can see and could send his angels after them, they just never stopped moving. They became speed demons. That's why he rides a motorcycle.
It used to be horses.
Used to be horses. And but now they're all on just whatever the fastest thing they can get their hands on because whatever the fastest thing they can get their hands on is because they got to stay in motion or God's going to find them and
They're kind of
just
like sharks. If they stop moving, they die.
absolutely. Absolutely. And they also never got sent to hell. They've never had their spirits like all deformed by the hellfire. So they're still like kind of helpful, you know?
Yeah.
So he's a speed demon, and the new gang in town are some of God's angels that have been sent down to finally capture him and capture. They're being sent all over the place to kind of start capturing the speed demons. They're a angelic motorcycle gang called the Holy Host.
Yes. But they come off as evil because no one really knows their true mission.
Yeah, and also they have to kind of do bad to get to
Well,
draw out.
I think okay, so they're very heavenly,
Yeah.
and they kind of look down on man,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
because they're like, "Ugh, you betrayed Jesus.
All angels are kind of disdainful of man, except the speed demons, because the speed demons have spent so much
So
time
yeah,
on
yeah, they've
Earth,
adapted.
and they've gotten to know humans, and really humans have kind of grown on them.
Yeah, I love that the good guys are just like looking down upon the humans. So they're like, ugh, get out of here, you
Yeah,
feeble,
yeah.
feeble fiend.
And so that gang of heavenly angels is called the Holy Host. And guess what? These kids aren't slick. The Holy Host obviously followed them and were able to find Michael's shed.
Yeah, well, they're kids.
Yeah, exactly. So the Holy Host show up and they abduct the children in order to get they just like we're gonna take the kids in order to get Michael to give up without a fight. Immediately he does. He's like, just take me instead.
And
I
they're
mean
like, well,
Andy and not
that's
Michael.
boring.
Well, yeah, that's why it's not the end of the story. So obviously the kids aren't going to stand for this. I mean, they want Andy back, and they're not comfortable with him just like giving himself up for their well being. So they start doing research, and they're going to try to find all the other speed demons and draw them into town to fight the heavenly host.
Okay.
How do you see that unfolding?
Well, how the hell do you find a speed demon? That's what one says.
Yeah, but
And then the other one says the answer, which is
I guess you kind of start looking
oh,
up. Yeah.
when they take Michael away or Andy, they rummage through his belongings and they find like a dossier of all the contact information of the other speed demons.
Well,
No.
maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
they go to the only place they can think of, which is the motorcycle shop in the back roads outside of town. So they
Oh,
go there and they meet this crazy mechanic,
yeah.
and he is a fallen angel as well
Okay, but how do they determine that?
because he doesn't give it up at first.
But
They
what?
start
Wait, how did they come to the conclusion that he was? Like, how did they even
well. They're
know to
like,
suspect
well,
him?
we got to go find someone who no, they don't know he is. They're like, we just got to go talk
Wait,
to someone who knows about motorcycles.
what if they
I think
talk
they
to
shouldn't they go to a priest? That's
what
not
if
good.
no, what if they do like a research? What if we do like a research scene and they just start looking up
Oh, research
kind
scenes are so exciting in movies. I actually wait for them.
Okay, so yeah, they're like they're at the
So you're telling
library.
me a library scene is cooler than I'm going to a mechanic shop where a fucking badass mechanic who turns out to be a fallen angel is?
But they already what's the chances of two of these speed demons being in the same town? And how
W-
would they like have
That's
figured out
kind of like the deal. Like every speed demon needs a speed mechanic.
Mm,
All
I
right.
thought you were
What's
I
your
thought you were being
library?
sincere about the library scenes. I thought you
Okay,
really liked them.
I do. All right. I don't know what I'm talking about. Go on. What are
Well,
we doing?
they just kind of start looking for like news stories about helpful acts committed by bikers.
And they start noticing another figure in the pictures with Andy.
Well, they just start collecting these stories and then writing to the good citizens with the suspicion that like, hey, are you
Like they have
a
to mail a letter, wait for it to get there, wait for them to write back, and then wait for it to get back to them.
well, maybe they do email.
Okay, because yes, they have email.
Yeah,
Who
maybe they didn't
doesn't?
have to go to the library. They just used their phones in the woods before they even, before the scene even ended.
Yeah, I really like the crazy mechanic, but
Okay, wait. So let's figure out how to get that crazy mechanic in here. Um, they just fucking go to like, hey, who would know who would have the most information about Andy? Obviously, his mechanic. He rides that motorcycle all the time. It needs help all the time. He goes to the crazy mechanic. The mechanic is not a speed demon. I don't think he's a speed demon. He is
he's just
he
been servicing the speed demons.
he he's been servicing Andy for like 50 years.
Well, okay, so he's not an archangel, but he's a cherub.
Okay, I don't
He's an old cherub.
you know what? Tell me what's happening.
Okay, they go to this uh mechanic shop and it's dirty and old and there's like all broken down motorcycles everywhere. And then they're like, "Hello, hello," and then this short man comes out with this round cherub face.
Yeah, short adorable
Yeah,
old man.
yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Can I
Andy
help
Rooney.
you? Can I help you?" And he's got a cigar too.
Mhm.
And they're like, um, "Well, we've got a kind of a crazy situation here. Um, you see, wait, does the town know he's in? They don't know. Okay, so they're the only
Just
ones to
these
know.
kids know.
Yeah,
These
they're
kids
like,
know cuz
our friend. Um, we wondered if you know our friend. Maybe he brought his bike in here to get fixed. Michael, or I mean Andy.
sometimes he worked by Michael until about 8 minutes ago.
And they go, and then he steps more into the light, and now we see his face with the cigar smoke all around him. He goes, "What do you know about Andy?" He's got an accent now.
He's got an accent. Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, well, actually, we found out a little more about him. Um, we found out that he might be. I know this sounds crazy, but
But give me a second. I got to think of it.
but he might be an angel." And then the old man just starts laughing. he he might not be an angel. He is an angel.
This is a great
Yes.
sentence. He might not be an angel. He is an angel. Well, he might not be, but he is.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, we got there.
And then he's like, and he starts laughing. You children, come with me. I have something to show you.
Okay. Yeah, that's always you children, come with me. I have something to show you. Is always a sentence that happens before something really, really good happens.
Exactly. So then he takes him in the back room, and it's just he opened. It's because we're in a machine shop or a mechanic shop, and then he opens the back door, and it's this beautiful, pristine, marble encrusted altar, sanctuary,
Mm-hmm.
prayer room,
Okay.
and they go, "Whoa, cool! I love church stuff." And he goes, "Yes." And then he goes up to the altar, and he has a leather jacket on,
Yeah.
Like he's looking now at the
It's
crucifix.
I love the idea that he's also just wearing like a diaper, like a cherub, and a leather jacket.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
So then he goes and he's got this leather jacket on, because he's like the biker type, and he goes up to the altar as they're standing looking at the crucifix, and he has his back to them now, and he puts his hands up, he raises both arms up as in praise, and then he takes his jacket and throws it down, and he's wearing a diaper and he has wings,
I like it.
and then he turns around and goes, "You think?" Wait, no, he says, "Trust me, I know everything that you're talking about is true."
Maybe not.
Maybe not,
But
but it
maybe
is.
not.
I mean, he's not of Earth. He doesn't really have interaction, so he has trouble
Yeah,
talking.
so he's that's why you're making him talk like that. It's a character decision.
Yes, clearly I'll be voicing him because I
Yeah.
know how to talk like that the best.
Um okay, so does he put them in connection with because I want to get the other speed demons in the town. So
Yes.
how's he get
Well,
them?
okay. Yes. Okay. So as he's like explaining to them like his origin and why he's here to help
Yeah.
the speed demons, he goes, "Oh, shh," and the children go, "What?" He goes, "Listen." And in the distance, you hear the roaring of who are
The
who are
Holy
they?
Host?
The Holy Host,
Yeah, the bad ones. Or
because
the
they've disconnected their mufflers
mm,
to make the sound and it's just like fumes of like black smoke and
yeah.
loud roaring.
Hmm.
That's how you know that's them. And he goes, "Oh no!" And they're like, "Well, can't you help us? Aren't you an angel?" He goes, "That's a long time ago and a very long story. I don't get into it, but I have no powers.
Okay, I've lost them
I've
through
lost them.
a
You see, I
story.
betrayed God, and now
Yeah.
I'm doomed to just work on motorcycles my whole life. It
Yeah.
sucks. I can never get my fingers clean."
Um.
And then, so then the loud roaring gets louder and louder to like, and now things are starting to shake. And, as things are shaking on the altar, and like the Eucharist falls off and everything,
Oh my
and the
God, the
cross turns
Eucharist.
sideways.
Not the Eucharist.
The children are like, "No!" um,
It's okay. It hasn't transubstantiated yet.
yes. And then, but I think he should give them something because he should be like, "Take this."
Oh, maybe it's like a special medallion to call
Yeah.
the other speed demons.
Yes. Should we?
And it's like a really over the top stylized SD
With the
medallion.
crucifix in it?
Yeah.
He goes, "You children need to leave now before it gets unsafe."
And he pulls a shotgun out
Yeah.
of his diaper.
And remember, he's in a diaper with wings smoking a cigar,
Yeah.
and he's got grease all over his arms and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then he goes, "Take this with you and get out of here." They go, "But you didn't tell us where Andy is." He goes, "Take this and you'll know. Get out of here."
Look, they're not looking for Andy. They're trying to get they know where Andy is. They're trying to get the help of the other speed demons, but go on.
Oh yeah. They go, "But you didn't tell us how we can help Andy. Get out of here!" And he throws them the medallion,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like an anime shot where it's like a crazy background, and they catch it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so then they run out because the roaring is now so loud, everything is shaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then they run out the back of the altar behind the crucifix. There's like a little passage, and then they run out, and then now we are seeing the cherub mechanic go out to the front, and he's now surrounded by the bicycles or the motorcycles, and they're going around him, and they're
Yeah.
picking up dirt, and there's smoke, and they're just being dicks. And then finally the leader stops, and he gets off, and he puts his fist up to make the others
Well,
stop.
wait. Maybe while they're speeding around him, he's just taking buckshots, like in at the tornado of bikes, like around him, and some of them are falling.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Wouldn't that be like kind of visually cool?
I think he's just maybe aiming, and he's afraid because he knows once he starts shooting, then
Okay.
they're going to overpower him.
Yeah.
So then the leader gets off, and he goes, no, wait, he doesn't have the same voice. The leader,
Sure, fuck it.
he goes, what's the cherub's name?
Cheeks.
Cheeks ain't cheeky. We meet again. It's been many a millennia.
Mm-hmm.
I see you've been not taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He goes, maybe I haven't. Or maybe I
Maybe
have.
not. But I have.
I maybe not, but I have.
Yeah.
And they go, you fucking still talking in riddle, huh? And
Try not to move the mic. It's
yeah,
making a
sorry.
metal sound.
Oh yes, the sound of metal. That's what's going to be present in this scene.
Okay. You could mean like 3 different things by that.
Yeah, they're blasting heavy metal. Just sounds of heavy metal being moved.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think you're hitting the little attachment thing that's making noise.
hold on, edit this part out because I'm going to put it right there. You know, heavy metal that's saying that who turned into a genre of music comes from William S. Burroughs' book Naked Lunch.
I heard that one of the members of the Angry Samoans, which was a punk band in the 80s, was a writer for Cream. And he was the first person to describe music as heavy metal.
But he stole it from William S. Burroughs.
Maybe.
I saw it. In a
But
documentary.
also, no.
Okay, who are you? Freaking the cherub?
Okay. So what's
so then
happening here?
The cherub points the shotgun at this guy, and he just takes it and bends the barrel back towards him.
Okay.
And the cherub shoots, and it blows up in his face.
Okay, so Cheeks has been destroyed.
Yeah, and we get a faraway shot looking down because the children have run to the hill to look down.
Yeah.
And they see this happen.
Now the children have this. They're freaked out. They have this medallion. They have to figure out how to use it to call the remaining speed demons.
Well, they see the cherub gets his head blown off.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they like retreat back behind a tree and they're like panicking. They're like, what are we going to do? And then all of a sudden the medallion starts glowing.
Yeah. And it shoots a beam into the air.
Yeah.
Like a bat signal.
It's kind of like a dowel, you know? It's kind of just like the beam is shooting ahead of it and it's kind of like pointing in the direction.
Okay, yeah.
And they just like, and then he moves it and it disappears, and he moves it the other way, it disappears, and it's only glowing into one spot. He goes, I think we have to follow it.
They have to follow it. Okay, and it brings them to the center of a field.
Yeah.
Where all of these biker speed demons have gathered.
Oh, but okay, so then they follow the beam and they run off into the forest following this beam. And then we cut back to the Holy Crusade.
The Holy Host.
The Holy Host in the standing around the cherubs, but they're moving it now. And then the leader who killed him he's smoking a huge cigar. He took it from the cherub actually.
Yeah.
And now he's smoking it. And he looks up and then one of the minions guys go, what do we do now? Like, how are we going to find them? The medallion's missing. And because they were going to get the medallion too to find the others.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you stupid. Look, the children have got it. And they see the beam shooting in the forest.
Yeah.
Glowing, moving.
But they don't care about the medallion. They're trying to get all these speed demons anyway.
Well, I know, but they need the medallion to find them all.
Okay, but if the kids are drawing them there, then that's just as good.
That's what he's trying to
but
tell.
But they didn't want them. They didn't want them all at once. They wanted to go to town and pick them off on their own. Because now,
I know, but if they have the medallion, it makes their job so much easier.
I guess because it could prevent someone from calling them all together.
Like a fake meeting?
No, the kids drew them all together, which is a problem for the Holy Host because you don't want to face them all at the same time. They were going to go to town and pick them off. In any event, whatever, basically a war breaks out, right? Like, Okay, so basically, for the kids meet the speed demons in the woods. They use the sigil to do it, right? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids explain that Andy's in trouble, and they're like, "Andy, we love Andy. He was the like fiercest fighter and like our like the most loyal angel. He's in trouble. We got to save him." And just at that point, they hear the holy host vroom 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 with their loud ass bikes driving in Main Street. They're dragging Andy like on a chain, like in order to call out the children and call out the speed demons. So what then ensues, obviously, is a angelic war in the middle of town. The speed demons and the holy host, just a fucking huge biker battle in the on Main Street, ripping town apart.
Ripping town apart. I love that. That's like
Yeah.
when the British say, "I'm going to hospital." I've been to university. Now I'm ready for life.
And um, Michael sees all the destruction they're causing, and he's pleading for both sides to stop.
Okay. Okay. How many children are there? Can they have names?
Oh, there's 4 children. There's Plucky, Bisbo, the Stump, and Klepto.
I
He
love that.
steals.
I
Yeah.
love that. Okay,
You
that's
want
their
you
name.
want to you want to you want to you want to do something with that before the you want to like go back and add some character scenes?
Are you making fun of me because I like to go back?
No, do it.
No. Okay. I just need to see in my head.
Okay. Um
So Bisbo.
so I mean like basically I think Andy is pleading for the speed demons like guys, let's just give up. Like the holy host is going to rip this town apart. It's not worth it. We're like destroying these people's lives. And the leader of the holy host is like confused by this. He's like, "What the fuck do you care about you? You're evil. You tried to rebel against God. What are you
And
talking
everyone's
about?"
sitting around watching him yell at him. And then he
Well,
says,
he's not yelling at him. He's like confused. He's like,
"Yeah,
"What? You care, people?"
but he senses weakness and he needs to set an example. So I think he should kill him some cool way."
Well, I was going to go a different way,
What?
but I'm interested in hearing what you think.
Yes, he grabs him by the face, pushes him down to his knees, and
He's
then
doing this
just
to Andy.
oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought one of his minion of the Holy Host was saying, "Why are we doing this?"
No,
Okay. Never mind. Go on.
the leader of the holy host, because Andy's basically surrendering, and the
Yeah.
leader of the holy host is like, "What?" He's like completely confused by it, and he's like, "Why did you rebel? Like, if you're not like evil, why'd you rebel against God? What do you want?" And Andy looks at him. He says, "I want the same thing all bikers want: freedom."
The open road, baby.
Yeah, and this confuses the hell out of the leader of the holy host. Like he was not expecting. He never really thought about why the other angels rebelled, and it's not his bag. Obviously, like he doesn't want to do it, but he's like, oh, maybe they weren't just pricks. Like maybe like
Bags, pricks. I get it.
they what. And like maybe yes, yeah, I'm telling you to use a condom. For God's sake, that thing's gonna fall off. Um, I think so he's like mulling it over. He's like, so you just wanted freedom, and with a little bit of freedom you've stolen for yourself, what have you done with it? And the townspeople also start speaking up and like talking about all the good deeds he's done, and it kind of convinces the leader of the holy host. Is like, oh fuck, like maybe I'm a dick, and I should just leave you alone.
Yeah, he has a moment of weakness where he's seeing the other side. But then he's like, no, I'm here on orders from God.
Well, see, I was thinking, and I'm gonna pitch. I'm gonna pitch a way to wrap this up, and let me know if you want to go a different way.
Yeah,
So he's convinced, and he basically just tells the speed demons, like, "Listen, I'm gonna back off, but you're still fugitives from God, so you can't keep fucking going around helping people like this. Like, you're being way too flashy. we're going to get called back down here. We're going to go back to God and just report that we've destroyed you. And if you're going around helping people all the time, then you're going to get us just sent back here, and we're going to have to come after you again. And they agree. They're like, okay, we'll just fade into the shadows. Like,
Doesn't God see all? But whatever.
no, God can only see things when they're really flashy. um, so that's it. The town all says goodbye to Andy, and him and the other speed demons just ride off in different directions.
Jeez. Really? That's the end?
Well, so hold on one second, because I have a little stinger, a little epilogue. Weeks later, one of the boys is walking home at night, and he's almost hit by a car. But at the last second, there's a sound of a motorcycle, and he's picked up and moved out of the way by an invisible force. Then he hears the motorcycle riding away, informing the audience that Andy's still out there. He's just keeping a low profile.
Hold on. So what just happened?
Next story. Future music.
Ah, yeah.
A time traveler, Borg Peter from the future. His name is Borg Peter. He's sent from the future to stop the creation of a song that will inspire a genre of music that will lead to a dystopia in which humans enslave one another for purely aesthetic purposes. Borg Peter is a member of the enslaved class, and they've sent him back to stop a song. They sent him back to the mid '80s to stop a song from being written that, if it's written, will eventually inspire a genre of music that will lead to this, hellish dystopia.
Like the music hypnotizes people in such a way, or
No,
it's just like
it's just like a domino
contains-
effect. Like the song that's being written doesn't even sound like what the music's going to sound like. Like, it's just they've determined that this was like the historical hinge point, that this song being written is what led to the genre of music that then eventually enslaved the world.
okay, so it's kind of like Hitler's favorite song, and then he was like, "Well, this is making me think different thoughts."
Yes, exactly. So instead of going back and killing baby Hitler, you just stop that song from being written.
Yeah.
But here's the complicated thing. They've also determined they can't go back and kill the songwriter because the destruction of life would cause too many time ripples and it just completely disable the time-space continuum.
Yeah.
Okay, so the song is being written by like this crappy rock musician in mid-'80s San Francisco. I decided that would be a good setting based on remember the movie we watched, Neon Maniacs?
I know the title, but what happened?
I just thought that would be a good vibe. Mid-'80s San Francisco. The song is the songwriter's name is Ginger Page.
Love that.
Yeah, I got some good names. We got Borg Peter and Ginger Page, and while doing some recon on Ginger Page's apartment, he's like standing on the roof spying on Ginger Page. Borg Peter then runs in to Ginger Page's rival singer-songwriter, Devin Drake. So they're both trying to stop Ginger Page in some way. Like obviously for Borg Peter, it's to stop this dystopian future, whereas for Devin Drake, it's just because they're rivals. So Borg Peter, upon discovering Devin Drake, believes that he's an agent of the slaver class from the future, and they get into a tussle. And during that tussle, that's when Borg Peter does a bunch of exposition, and we get all that backstory. And that's also where we find out why he can't kill Ginger and all that. Devin explains that he wants to stop Ginger too, and he could use his knowledge of the 20th century to help Borg Peter. You following?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to keep going because I only have half of this story, and I need you to help me with the other half.
Okay.
Okay. So Devin gives Borg. There's a montage. Devin gives Borg Peter this really cool new wave makeover and teaches him some like 80s lingo, like calling women chicks, saying things are happening, and then like stuff no one ever says, but in movies they're presented as like as
Modern
slang. Like
slang.
so yeah, so like saying stuff like that's totally Flash, and uh, you know through all this, Borg Peter starts to think that Devin is taking it too lightly, so he plays him some of the future music. And Devin is completely fucking unmoved by it. He's like, "That sounds like gobbledygook." That's what your
No,
whole
after
like.
it plays, he's like, "Well, what are you going to put it on?" I think there's
What,
something wrong with your radio
I think there's something wrong with your radio.
because it
I
doesn't sound like music, right?
Well, we're gonna. That's when I was gonna play our song.
Yeah, yeah. That does
Future
not
music.
sound like music. It sounds like machines breaking.
No, it sounds like music.
Okay.
You don't remember. You don't see. The thing is, no one understands us, and you're letting the haters win and not believing in our music.
All right. Well,
All
it
right.
fits this because he's like confused by it.
He's confused by it. He's kind of unmoved by it, and
I think you should say it should be a long pause after he plays it, and then who's the guy playing the music again? What's his name?
Borg Peter.
Lord Peter is like waiting for like a response with like a heightened look on his face, and then what's the other one's name?
Devin Drake.
Devin Drake's like, "What the fuck was that shit?"
Yeah, he's like that sucked. Your entire culture is based on that. That people enslaved each other based on that. That's insane. That's not even music, hardly. Like this is
Where's the
noise.
music part?
And then like that. Borg Peter is bewildered by Devin's response, but he's like, "Well, let me show you the song that Ginger's gonna write that will inspire it." And that song Devin does get because it fucking rules. And he's like, "Oh, oh my god, he's gonna be a superstar. This is like one of the best songs I ever heard." Um, so they're like, he's like, "Okay, I'll take it more seriously. We'll stop it. We'll stop. You know, we'll stop him. We'll stop Ginger Page." But then the next night, there's an open mic where both Ginger Page and Devin are playing, and Devin plays first, and he plays the song. Get off your
Mhm.
phone.
It's my grandma.
Just tell her you're gonna get back to her in 20 minutes.
I'm just what I'm writing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what just happened?
He loves that song.
And so then the next night at the open mic, he stole that song.
Yeah.
Now he is the one playing the song that's going to doom everyone, even though he was the one that was supposed to be helping Borg Peter stop it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Borg Peter obviously rushes the stage, interrupts the performance, doesn't want anyone to hear the song. That gets him thrown out of the club. At the same time, now he's next to Ginger Page, who's out there smoking a cigarette. He's like, "Yeah, you think you're having a rough night? That guy just stole the song I've been working on for 2 months."
Love it.
Okay, take it from there.
And he's like, well, if he stole it, we should call the cops. And then
He's like,
what?
"Yeah,
No. And then what?
go."
No, you say.
Well, then he's like, "You can't really do that for songs. I didn't like copyright it. It's just fucking a song I've been working on in my apartment. I don't know how he heard it. He must have been spying on me."
Yeah. And he goes, "That's illegal too."
He's like, okay, but I have no evidence. And who are you? Like, you're just some crazy guy that just rushed the stage.
He goes, "I'm a lawyer."
Oh, well, maybe you can help me then.
Do you think I have a case here? He goes, "Yes, here's my card." And this guy gives him his card and never is
Wait,
seen
Borig
again.
Peter has a card?
No, the lawyer.
No, this is Borig Peter.
Oh, I wanted a lawyer scene. Okay, poor Peter could have a card
Why does he have a card that says he's a lawyer?
because he's crazy.
These crazy people don't just carry cards of random professions.
I'm gonna start doing that. um. Okay, I'm lost, dude. This one's hard.
Oh my god. Okay, so obviously, Borg Peter says to Ginger, like, listen, that was supposed to be your song, but I'm from the future and I was sent here to stop it. He's like, you're from the future? That's crazy.
Prove
And
it.
he's like, and how's he prove it? He pulls out a iPod
Yes.
and he's like, wow, there's like 800 songs on here.
He's like, first of all, I don't care about your television remote.
No, we need to get the story moving, so he's got to be impressed by it,
Oh,
right?
so he plays music for him?
He just shows him some piece of future technology.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, okay, I guess you're from the future, but like, I was going to write a song that was going to doom everyone. That doesn't sound like me. And he explains, like, no, not directly. He's like, okay, well, I just won't write the song. You should have just come and talked to me. I would have obviously not wrote the song if I thought I was going to doom humanity. And he's like, okay, well, you're right. I should have done that.
Then he goes, wait a minute. Do you work for the Muskrats? That's the
Okay.
band that he hates. That's trying to steal his gigs all the time.
Wait, no, that's too many rivalries because we already have Devin Drake.
Okay, but I think he should be like, you work for the Muskrats, and you're trying to get me not to write that beautiful song.
No, because Devin already stole the song, so there's no trying to get him not to write it.
Okay.
I like the idea that he's like, do you work for the Muskrats? He's like, what? He's like, never mind.
Forget it. It's never happened.
It's just a saying. It's a San Francisco saying. We gotta wrap up. I got a baby to take care of. So Devin said, okay, so he's like, well, all right, yeah, you should have talked to me, but now the song's out there and we gotta stop Devin. Should we just kill him? I don't want to kill him, but like, if it's gonna save humanity, he's like, no, we can't kill people. It makes too many ripples in the time stream. He goes, okay, so what do we do? How do we stop him from playing that song? And they're like, well, yeah, so Jerry, how did we stop Devin Drake from playing that song?
Without killing him?
Yes, without killing him.
He goes, oh, we won't kill him. We'll kill everyone who hears the song.
I like that, but I think that'll cause a bigger ripple. I think that the only move is to write a better song and hope that it overshadows this song, but it leads humanity in a different direction. And Boy Peter's like, well, how will you do that? How will you make sure that this better song you write, first of all, is better, and second of all, doesn't have the same effect? It's like, well, I'll have to infuse it. I'll have to infuse it with everything good in the world.
And then they cut to Britney Spears' Toxic.
Well,
that song's great.
Yeah, but that's like 20 years later.
Oh.
So they go.
This is the 80s, right?
Yeah, they're doing a montage. They're making a stew of positive effects. Charity, falling in love. Like, he's got to get all of these like great experiences down in 1 week, all to pour into one song. He pour. He delivers a baby. He saves a man's life. All of the things, every emotional high you can have, and emotional lows. He's attending funerals and mourning and
Saving cats from trees.
saving cats from trees, putting cats on trees when they aren't strong enough to climb up on their
So
own,
they don't get bit by dogs.
and teaching the dogs peace. And he is getting all of these positive effects, and then he sits down to write the song, and it fucking sucks.
Mm.
And they're like, "That's awful. I don't think that will save humanity." And he's like, "Well, what if we just threaten to kill Devin?" And he's like, "Well, he knows about the time ripple thing. He knows we can't." And he goes, "Okay."
And they go, okay, well then why don't we just pay him off?
And but like Ginger's like, I mean, you don't have any money, do you? He was like, "Oh no,
And then it turns into a bank heist movie.
Okay. We don't have enough time for that." Jerry, try to wrap it up a little quicker than that, or do it. Just take me on that bank heist movie, but try to do it in the next 8 minutes.
All right, so then they're like, well, we have to rob a bank.
Yeah.
And then so this is Borg Peters, right?
Borg Peter.
And he's talking to the lawyer?
There's no lawyer.
Who is he talking to then?
Ginger Page, the musician he was sent to stop.
Yeah. And so he's like, all right, Ginger, we're going to rob the bank in the middle of town.
Okay.
And they're like, okay. And then there's this whole montage of them planning and then like getting like.
I don't think this makes sense to rob a bank and then give it to this music. This musician, Devin Drake, wants fame and stardom.
Well, how are they going? Money makes the world go round, baby.
Wait, yeah, I know, but maybe they're like, okay, well, maybe we can make him an offer he can't refuse. I don't know. Shit. They have to sabotage the song. The song was not completely written. Devin, because Borg Peter only showed him a snippet of it, and he built it around it. And
there has to
Ginger
be some
Page,
kind of brainwashing scene.
No. and Ginger Page says, "That's not exactly the song I was writing." And he goes, "But I could give him my notes. I could give him like the chords and stuff, but I could sabotage it. I can write it so it's a little different." And he does it, and he writes it, and he fucks it up, and he goes to, he finally goes to Devin Drake, and he goes, "Listen, we've had our differences, but listen, you're working on the song you made is very similar to a song I was working on. I want to give you these notes, and maybe you can incorporate them." And the next night, Devin Drake gets up on stage, and now he has the song, and it's all of the notes he incorporated from what Ginger Page gave him. So he starts playing. At first, it plays real good, but then we get to the new parts. And then we get to the new parts that are added in, and it just sounds like farts. It sounds fucking awful. And like Ginger Page and Borg Peter are like looking at each other like, it's working. We're Save the Future. And then the song ends, and everyone starts clapping.
And then they go, no, and they cut to the future, and everyone is in diapers, and they're all farting.
Well, okay, how about this? How about Ginger Page yells no because he's imagining like, oh, it didn't work. At that point, Borg Peter just pulls out a laser gun and blows Devin Drake's head off.
Yes.
And Ginger Page is like, but what about the time ripples? He's like, I'll deal with it. The end.
But there might be a little bit of people in the future wearing diapers.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But I gotta go now.
Okay.
I gotta go deal with a person wearing a diaper.
Okay. Good luck with that.
You do not ask him to come in and take you. Who made you? Who created you? Look into the mirror. Who designed you? You have been created. And you are now the What